Good morning and welcome. The sun is shining. It's a lovely morning here in England. And the magpie is casting. Coming at you guys today with a live 1 versus 1 battle. Featuring, spawning in the south, it's going to be the United States forces of HelpingHans. And spawning in the north, it's going to be the Overcommand West forces of Florenc. So, the map today is going to be Falmunville Approach. I'm sure you're all very familiar with this one by now. I'm just going to have a rapid turbo pan around. HelpingHans, of course, one of the most prolific and highly rated players in the community, as far as I know. I mean, he seems to be right at the top end of the play everywhere I look. Speaking of which, actually, yesterday, which was Sunday, the 22nd of November, I did happen to have the honour, the privilege, the great glory and joy of watching HelpingHans play in the FlexiTime tournament. He was actually 2-0 down to Jezelin. He was playing USF against Jezelin's Wehrmacht, and it was Heavy Cavalry Commander against Lightning War Doctrine. So Jezelin, I believe, actually took that series. So HelpingHans clearly back on the ladder, hitting the practice. But it was a very heated game. It was Kolodny Farmer, the game that I watched, and it was Pershing versus Tiger Tank in the late game. Good stuff between the Wehrmacht and the USF forces. HelpingHans and Jezelin really going at it in that one there. Now, just before the main battle gets underway and as the opening scuffles unfold before us, I would like to just take a moment to go back to something I mentioned in my last cast, and that is, of course, the upcoming balance changes. That's right, Overcommand are being redesigned and a number of the old commanders are getting changed significantly, a lot of changes to the Brits and some other factions too. Now, over the weekend, I've been musing about these changes coming up, and I basically... on a fundamental level, I have to say, I kind of actually agree with Relic when they want to give Overcommand 100% resource income, for the simple reason that whilst it is an interesting game mechanic, having limited resource income to justify other benefits, it is not an inherently fun one. It does not inherently make for interesting to watch games. Limiting one player on resources just means that you see fewer high-tech units, and that player tends to end up generally having less fun. I mean, it makes it a less engaging experience for that player, and it makes it a less engaging experience for the viewers. Now, with that in mind, and I think on a fundamental level, I really think that is the case, that leaves Relic, in my opinion, with no choice but to give Overcommand a complete redesign, which potentially includes giving them 100% fuel income. These riflemen are going to make mincemeat of these pioneers here at long range, as you would expect. So, by giving the Overcommand back 100% resource income, it therefore follows that you have to redesign the entire faction, because that's an entire faction which has been designed around having reduced resource income. So, I do agree with Relic that changes were needed on a fundamental level with the Overcommand. Now, in my last cast, I probably didn't make that clear or hadn't realised it myself, and I was very against pretty much all the changes to the Overcommand. I think I've reconsidered my position on that one. Now, I'm not necessarily sure yet that I agree with the exact changes to restructure the Overcommands that Relic have proposed. I think the changes to the Kubelwagen, interesting, but I will, like I say, reserve judgment till I play with the new Kubelwagen. And I think also moving the Jagdpanzer to the Schwerer Panzer HQ, probably a mistake, and so on. But I'm glad that Relic are actually trying this out, and so anyway. Let's just say that I think that Relic are broadly on the right path, but the specifics might need some work. Let's leave it at that, I think. So anyway, just thought I'd take a moment at the start of this cast to reflect upon my weekend's musing about these upcoming changes to the game we love so much. Now, let's turn our attention to this battle. So far, a fairly even-sided affair. The American forces getting off to a 53-point lead, however. Actually, wait, how can I say a fairly even-sided affair? Pretty much every fight has been taken by HelpingHans for advantage. He's playing pretty well here, actually, leveraging a lot of advantage against the Overcommand. Look, his riflemen are pushed all the way up to the base's doorstep, and he could establish a siege as early as the 4, 5, 6 minute mark. If we look at what's going on now, Florenc has chosen his command. He's gone for the or her perhaps commander. He's chosen the Luftwaffe Ground Forces doctrine. So an MG-34 now on the field, going to take up position in this commanding building, which is always the scene of a lot of MG usage throughout the early and mid game, and often into the late game if the building doesn't get destroyed. So able to leverage advantage by selecting a commander, possibly a wise choice. We'll see how things go moving on. Obviously, committing to a commander early can be a bit of a gambit. You can get punished in the late game if your opponent punishes you appropriately. Now, if we look at the unit choices and teching, we've got a Battle Group at HQ deployed in the base. Build order, I think, was Volk MG34, MG34 for Florenc. Helping Hands has gone for Lieutenant Tech, and after 3 squads of riflemen, and is just now getting an AA half-track. So going for the slightly more aggressive choice there. Is the Lieutenant been revealed? The Lieutenant has been revealed. I believe those Volks Grenadiers just saw it, so we may see some kind of anti-vehicle counter, because of course utility car and AA half-track are the options presented by choosing the Lieutenant. So cognizant of that, you would hope that Florenc would go for some sort of anti-vehicle tech, and indeed we have a Rakettenwerfer on the queue. So not missing a beat and using the information provided is Florenc there, very nicely done. Also looking to grab the middle victory point, which is going to help stem this this bleed of tickets, which at 5 minutes 35 into the game to be at 383 is a little unsettling. So this is definitely going to help. This is going to, by capturing this point, the rate of ticket bleed is cut in 3, so losing 1 per tick rather than 3. Here comes the ambulance. That's going to look to heal these squads. Actually, look, for example, this squad is on full 5 men, but still just over half health, so pretty wounded there. They are probably going to get healed by that ambulance. Storm Pioneer is going to deploy into the south. Now, there are very few American forces. There is a squad of riflemen pushed right up here, but these Storm Pioneers are going to probably be able, with these Volks Grenadiers, to push them out and hopefully secure the fuel point and this victory point. Meanwhile, in the north, squad of Volks Grenadiers doing their thing. Another squad, this is an MG34, capping some ground, but here's the AA half-track, and let's see what it can get done. Now, the Rakettenwerfer was cancelled, and Storm Pioneers chosen. Oh dear. This is going to leave Florenc in the lurch a little bit. There's now a bigger window for this AA half-track to go to be exploited, almost unopposed. I mean, not entirely unopposed, but excuse me while I have a sip of my tea. But this AA half-track now is a decent window to get some work done, and it's going to reverse move it on in here. It's going to probably see this MG34. Yep, there we go. And looking to do maximum damage to this squad as soon as possible. The ferocious twin machine guns and cannon of the AA half-track gonna force this MG34 glitchily indeed to get out, and there's got to be a fallback, there we go, but it still may not be enough. The AA half-track is going to do its best to disrupt the fallback path and get a whole ton of shots into the retreating weapon team, and that is more than likely going to be a squad wipe. Oh, he's just running for his life. Is he going to get out of there? Oh, Hans, you legend! Schnell, Hans, schnell! And looks like the plucky MG gunner gonna actually get that gun out of there. Somebody get that guy a medal. That's good work. Another MG34 down here in the south, going to be doing some work to these riflemen. No grenade package. No, I take it back. The grenade package upgrade has been researched. It's just that the pineapple is on cooldown for this squad, so it looks like we've already had a grenade go into this building. That may explain the low health on the MG34. Sorry for missing that one. So anyway, the AA half-track probably going to be looking for additional victims. Now, does the Lieutenant squad come with 2 BARs? Do I recall that correctly? No, 1 BAR and a Thompson, of course, on the actual Lieutenant. So anyway, so MG34 in a good position. Now, there is a Panzerschreck on this squad of Volks. 3 MG34s. Wow, really making use of that. It's interesting stuff, actually. Not often you see such a heavy commitment to these sort of baby MG team. I say baby MG team because it costs 210. AA half-track's going to start laying into this MG. That's probably going to have to force that to relocate. This Schwerer is risking its life out here, I would say. If he starts building a building, this is ambitious at best, because this AA half-track, believe me, it can punish a constructing overcommand truck pretty hard. Here comes the AA half-track. We're going to need to see a Shrek off this Volk squad. Bang, there's the first hit. Now, I think diving into this building, possibly a sensible choice, but he's going to push forward. Not sure about this. Those Volks getting suppressed. Now the cannon can start firing from the AA half-track. Nope, looks like maybe HelpingHans just going to get out of there. Yeah, it looks like he's just going to get the AA half-track out of there. Doesn't want to take a risk with his expensive fuel investment. AA half-tracks, of course, now I believe, how much fuel do they cost? 50 fuel. What, as little as 50? 50? Wow, I should play more USF. That seems like a bargain. I thought they were like 60 or 70. Damn. Damn. Wow, that's a pretty good unit, huh? Anyway, MG34 and Volks Grenadiers going to be moving on up here in the north. They're going to displace these echelon troops. There is a Lieutenant waiting to get involved. We'll see if HelpingHans gonna commit there. This Schwerer is deploying, and here comes HelpingHans. He knows he needs to destroy this now. This is 80 fuel, massive damage coming off the AA half-track, and that is going to be enough. A deploying overcommand truck, of course, very fragile. These Storm Pioneers looking to be forfeit as well. There needs to be a fallback. No fallback. These Storm Pioneers need to focus fire on these guys. Oh, dearie me. Falschmig is going to be deployed in the middle of the battle, but the AA half-track is going to suppress them, and HelpingHans is going to get that out of there. But an 80 fuel and the second truck down for Florenc, and that is a bitter loss. Overcommand's trucks, of course, when they're deploying, incredibly fragile, and HelpingHans knew that he could push in and strike down that truck, and he achieved that. The AA half-track, of course, the DPS on that thing, monstrous against a deploying overcommand truck. Now, Making up some ground in the north, and also holding 2 of the victory points, so at least for now, not under the clock, is Florenc. Also has enough time to reinforce all of her units and start moving those out back onto the field, so that's pretty good as well. Now, of course, we all know that I don't think putting a battle gripper command in your main HQ is any good. I think if you're going to do this, you should go for the mechanized regiment HQ, because it diversifies your unit choices and gives you access to that fuel converter tech. But that's by the by. Because, Florenc has gone for what Florenc has gone for. And, we're just going to have to see how that one plays out. Now, do you get grenades on these squads? You do. Oh, look, here we go. A nice pineapple comes into this tree here. Bang, doing great damage. That'll be a squad wipe on these grenadiers. So things definitely going HelpingHans' way here. He's doing pretty good here against this overcommand player. Kind of just chewing through. Now, here comes the AA half-track once again. Catches a nice amount of overcommand troops in its arc. The suppression here and the damage, more importantly, going to be real. No Panzerfaust coming down off these Fallschirmjägers, and the Volks apparently are aiming the bazooka, the Panzerschreck at these riflemen in cover. So that's not going to help, and this is going to have to be a mass fallback. These 3 squads are very wounded. I think pull them all back. I'm not sure about just trying to. Yeah, there we go. And these Volks as well. I mean, they're in. Yep, there we go. There's the fallback. So. Bit of a delayed fallback there, but coming through in the end. And if I correct the tack, you can kind of get a feel for the story of this game so far. Basically, HelpingHans, utilising the potent forces of the USF, the riflemen, the AA half-track, the officers, pushing forward for massive aggression in the face of an interesting opener, going for 3 MG34s. Not often you see that, but was it effective? Well, I'll let you decide. Now, is it usually effective? Possibly. It just could be that HelpingHans just punching through with his decision-making in micro. Now, the Pack Howitzer is going to get into a good position, going to start flumping down this MG34 in cover here. I imagine that will destroy, force back the MG34 shortly, but not before it catches these riflemen. Uh-oh, Pineapple coming into the building. That could be bad news. It is bad news. The MG34 team now very low. 1 man remaining. He's going to have to get out of there. Has Florenc forgotten about the poor MG team? It looks like it, as the AA half-track is going to come in. It's an M15A1. I need to remember that. M15A1. Half-track going to come in. There goes the MG34. 33 supply for Florenc against 61 of HelpingHans. And you kind of get the feeling things are going from bad to worse here for Florenc. Fighting a downhill battle here. Now, a Rakettenwerfer has come out. That's going to try and help with the AA half-track, and I bet Florenc wishes she hadn't cancelled that earlier one. Fallschirmjägers here coming on out. Florenc not floating that much power. HelpingHans. Now, in the game I saw HelpingHans play against Jezelin, he went for the heavy cav commander, and I also watched him play a game earlier this morning. He went for heavy cav. So my instinct tells me, or rather not my instinct, just my ability to read trends from data points, tells me that HelpingHans is probably going to go for the heavy cavalry commander here. Look to see Rangers added to the roster soon. He has enough manpower that he can call in some Rangers. Pineapple going to come out into this building. Oh no, these Volks Grenadiers going to be forfeit. Oh dearie me. Florenc seems to be very bad at neglecting units that are in buildings. Oh dear, this is a 2-star squad with a Panzerschreck. You can't just leave them to die. Oh dearie me, 29 supply now, under 62. 300 points under 456. And this is just HelpingHans wrecking house. There we go. Florenc going to call the GG at that timing, and you have to think that was appropriate. I mean, HelpingHans had every possible advantage in that game, and no real damage had been achieved by Florenc. Should have played Wehrmacht, buddy. Ha ha, lol, just kidding. So yeah, that's going to bring to a close this game. So as I said, my closing thoughts would be that having had time to fully reconsider the Overcommand revamp that Relic are proposing, I have to say on a fundamental level I've come to the conclusion that I actually do agree. I think that Overcommand are in a spot where they need some changes. Their win rates are really low, the faction's very hard and grindy to play, and it's actually, to be honest, it's not a lot of fun to play because you get those reduced income resources. But basically, you have so few options compared to other factions. Your decision making is rather streamlined. Let's put it that way. It's more of a checklist than a decision making tree. And then when you switch to playing as like Brits or USF, you actually have genuine decisions about how you're going to compose your army, which buildings you're going to put down, what tech you're going to go for. And yeah, you sort of have that with Overcommand, but it feels like your hand is rather forced most of the time. Let's put it that way. Yes, that concludes this broadcast. I'm probably going to go and upload another game straight after this one because Helping Hands is on the ladder, and I saw a number of other good names up on the channel. Up on the live games lobby. So I'm hoping I can get a clash between Helping Hands and a really high-level player, and we'll see what happens if that's the case. So for now, this is Magpie842 signing out, but I'll catch you guys rather soon.